Shalom. Grand Rise, Israel. Shalom. Got out the way there. Grand Rise, Israel. Back to work over here at the plantation. I want to thank all of y'all for coming on and giving your comments and viewing me visiting my grandma out there in Florida. It was a real beautiful occasion. She, hard of hearing, so she had the TV kind of loud. I didn't want to interrupt her time of enjoying life. So I did to the best of my ability, sharing with y'all what I had set out to do. And actually, I'm going back next month to do another visit with her and get a little bit more of her attention. I don't know if you all got to hear in detail the conversation that I did have with her. It was beautiful, man. And I said when I went there, I was going to let it be all about her and just let her talk. And I'm going to do that in depth when I do return again. And I didn't want to inject anything. I didn't want to bombard her with anything. You got to understand, at a point in life, through the just living in this world, at a certain age, your programming becomes your direction and a path to get some kind of level of comfort in this world due to the curses of Deuteronomy. And that identifies us as a people. And I said to her in conversation, I asked her about the Black Panther movement. I asked her about the murder of Malcolm X and King at those times, and how did it affect her, and what was her thought. And you could clearly hear what my grandma said. She said, that had nothing to do with me. I went to work. I came home and I raised my kids. It had nothing to do with me. And I don't fault my grandma, because you understand, she raised 13 children. And to be under the curses, not knowing, she just knew what she had to deal with to get by. That's a testimony. My grandma said she didn't want no smoke. She didn't see nothing. She didn't hear nothing. She wasn't part of it. She wasn't going out and protesting. She was afforded a good job. She was able to pay for her home and own her home. I asked my mom about the area of Hyde Park, Illinois, Chicago, which is where Farrakhan has a home, Muhammad Ali has a home, Obama the Hamite, the African, he has a home. This is a black area in Chicago on 55th, where well-to-do black folks get homes. And I asked her if she ever visited Hyde Park. They also got a movie theater there, a shopping center. It's a whole community. And my grandma said, no, I didn't leave outside of my area. I went to work, I came home. She didn't want to run into any other black folks and hear their problems or become part of their problems. This is, some might say, putting her head in the sand and everything and hiding from what was going on. This is the pain that we went through. And if you found a way to afford not to have your children go through it, this is what you did, some of us, And I don't fault her for her wanting not to endure pain. And she was able to raise 13 children, not losing any of them to that punishment. So I'm grateful for being an offspring of hers, that for her sacrifice and not being in the crosshairs to the best of her ability, I'm able to be here. This is all testimony of us as a people. And if you listen to those conversations, if you can hear it through the audio, she shared with me some information about us. Her, this is my mama's mama. I never knew that my grandma was born and raised in Chicago, but her family is from Louisiana. This is where we got property that Texaco swindled us out of mineral-rich rural land that's still in our family name. That's another discussion. But furthermore, proof of who we are. Everybody know that the slaves were from Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, the South. I'm so grateful, like I said, for the Most High's power. All this what we're witnessing is testament to His power. I got some friends of all nationalities of the children of Israel, and a lot of them, they're programming too. They've been indoctrinated of this Christ, which is only given to you in the New Testament, and they don't want to hear anything else of the truth because of their programming. And that's like I said, I'm not here to convert nobody. I'm not here to change anybody. I'm just here to share the understanding of who we are and our God's power. People can get this information, ignore it all they want. It is what it is. And even with the understanding of Yaki's information that brought forth the dietary, and the odd thing about that, all praise to the Most High. Since I came into that understanding, my diet has changed overnight. I've been getting better sleep. I'm not saying I won't ever eat meat again, but I've had some startling things happen in my life, in my diet. I'm waking up with more energy. I feel like I've worked out. I feel so healthy. Within coming into that information with them scriptures that Yaki brought forth about our dietary, I got these tuna packs. And I'm not saying I won't eat meat again. Like I said, I've had these tuna packs, and I ate one. I had 3 of them, and I ate one. And after 3 spoonfuls in my mouth, I got nauseated. I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? And I'm the kind of person, I get hangry if I don't eat what I want, and I haven't been craving anything of meat. I actually pulled into a Ruby Tuesdays, and I was going to get salmon. And I sat there in my truck, and I'm debating. I didn't even want to get off the truck. I wasn't hungry. I've been eating fruits and vegetables, and it's blowing my mind because I haven't been craving for anything. I've been eating salads with boiled eggs on them and croutons, cherries, and pineapples. And you think about it, the silverback gorilla is the strongest mammal on earth, and it eats nothing but fruits and berries, the Most High's diet. And you get into what we know about this truth, and the Most High has crossed every T and dotted every I. And when you seeing His power in what He wrote and what He commanded, and you see it transpiring in your spirit of what you've been able to get from it, the benefit, it's truly amazing, man. I mean, I'm blown back by. I'm about to actually make me a salad right now. I'm blown back by seeing the proof of His what is, it's documented, and being a living testament to see that it's true. Everything that he says is true. And all at the benefit of us. I'm not saying that I won't eat meat anymore. Clean, what the scriptures detail is clean food, but I've been getting more benefit out of rationing off of that. You know, that diet to my benefit has been a blessing. And this is what I've been doing. And believe me, it feels very strange, very strange to not be wanting more. You know, I got an ex, and she used to tell me that I had food demons because I ate so much and enjoyed eating, and I still do. You know, I ain't saying anything changed, and I'm waking up. I'm not gonna front. I used to, and I still do. I spend $30 to $40 a day just in eating out, and what I consider good meals, cooked meals, and you know, salmon, chicken. And I was sitting back. That time I poured into Ruby Tuesdays. I sat back, and after I started back driving, because I didn't go in and get what I thought I would have wanted, and I said, man, how am I gonna do this? Like, how? And I've had no issue with it. Like I said, my money been. These are the blessings that I ask the Most High for. I ask Him to give me better income and blessings that I can come across financially to enjoy this kingdom or be at peace in this kingdom. And this is what He does. You know, you ask and He will deliver, just not in the way that we think. You know, it ain't a lottery ticket. You know, it's something that is to my benefit while I'm here. So, nevertheless, I want to share something else with y'all. Getting into detail about who we are. I'm cooking me up a little salad real quick, you know. Show y'all how I do it. Crouton fell on the hood of my Chevelle. That's how I do it. Mix it up. Said the things I ask the Most High for, blessings in His kingdom. I'm applying for the kingdom to come. But as you pay attention, He moves the curses of this world out of your way, and He gives you peace that is all beneficial to you. I'm trying to move things out of my way as I create this salad. So I want to share something else with you. Deshaun, brother, keep doing what you're doing. I watched that video with you pertaining to that dream, and it's amazing. I know a Hispanic female that's on one of my Facebook pages, and I didn't comment on it. She had posted that she had a dream. She got like 3 or 4 kids, and she posted that she had a dream, and it was the end of the world, and all her kids were scattered around, and she couldn't find them or something like that, and she was real panicky, and she woke up and she said, of course I went and checked on my kids. And it brings me to a dream that I had Many years ago, I was still with my daughter's mother, and I told her about this dream. And it was a dream similar to that we were all together, but we were being separated on this ship. And they were all together. They were all being taken together, but I was being taken separate. And I remember that dream vividly. But it's all about that separation, that dream of being separated and not being able to do anything about it. Similar to Deshaun's video of him being not able to help somebody that he was witnessing going through some torture and some torment. I say all that to say everything is adding up. Everything is making sense. I'm going to share with y'all this video right now about Ishmael. Abraham had 2 sons. Ishmael being the oldest, who was the progenitor of the Arabs, Muslims, who created religion under the Quran and Islam. Then Abraham had a younger son, Isaac, who is the progenitor, our forefather, who gave birth to Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, the nation of Israel, the progenitor of the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, the native Indians, the Negroes, the Jamaicans, the Haitians, the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, etc. Whether you subscribe to the understanding of the 12 tribes, which people try to say the 12 tribes chart, if you can't discern and see the scriptures identifying these people, that's on you. Nevertheless, if you don't understand it, it's not going to keep you out of the kingdom. I choose to understand it. It explains who these people are, and if you don't, figure out a way or bring forth something that does detail who they are. Ishmael knows who they are. How they don't know who we are. Okay, and I'm going to show that right here. Right now.
When I look at the story of Ishmael, I see that Ishmael is given a very prominent place in the Quran and a not so prominent place in the Bible. So tell me about Ishmael, how he's viewed in the 2 traditions.
Yeah, in the Quran, Ishmael is not mentioned by name so often. The son of Abraham is mentioned, and Ishmael is thought to be the son that is mentioned in the story of the sacrifice. Elsewhere, he is mentioned by name. For example, in the 19th chapter of the Quran, where God shows that he was a righteous person, and God gave him prayer and charity, and he commanded his progeny to do the same. In the Bible, the stories are told more extensively about all of the prophets, and the Quran only needs to refer to those stories allusively to bring out the lessons that could be brought out from these stories following the Quranic line of thought. But even in the Bible, the story of Ishmael, compared with others around him, seems to be diminished, especially in comparison with his brother Isaac, which is a curious phenomenon, because Ishmael was the firstborn son of Abraham, according to the biblical narrative itself, and so you would expect him to have a greater prominence, but he doesn't. The prominence shifts to Isaac, who comes to be known as the ancestor of the Israelite nation, and Ishmael, by comparison, is said to be a great person, and that he will have many descendants, but he will also be a wild donkey of a man whose hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him.
And in contrast, in the Quran, Ishmael in the Islamic tradition is seen as sort of the ancestor, right? The ancestor of the Prophet Muhammad and the Muslims, and the Arabs.
So in Islamic tradition, Ishmael gets a large mention.
Yes.
And Isaac, not so much mentioned. So it's as if the Islamic tradition, in a way, counterbalances and fits nicely in with the Judeo-Christian tradition, showing that the prominence that both sons should have.
Now, it seems as if Ishmael's story within the Quran begins with Abraham leaving them in some sort of barren land, which appears to be Mecca, right?
Yes, in the 14th chapter of the Quran, Abraham prays and says, God, I have settled my descendants in a land that is not cultivated, so please you provide for them and cause the hearts of people to be inclined towards them. But he says he's leaving them there for a purpose, so that they would worship God. It's as if there is an attempt here to plant a new place of worship. I'm using a terminology here from Christian thinking, in that, you know, somebody may say, I'm planting a new church. They go to a new area where there's no church, and then by their very presence there, they're going to establish a Christian community.
So that's what Abraham went to do.
Church, yes. So Abraham was planting his descendants in a
Try to set up
barren
no
region
Christianity.
where people would not have come otherwise, so that in that area God can be worshipped as well.
How does that story appear in the Bible?
In the Bible, it takes on a different coloring, in that the story goes that Ishmael was born first, and when he was about 13 years old, Sarah became pregnant and gave birth to Isaac. So Isaac was the second son. When Isaac was being weaned, probably he was about 2 years old, Ishmael was laughing at him or playing with him. The term yetzchak in Hebrew is ambiguous. It could mean either way. If it's taken to be mocking him, then this is more likely to explain Sarah's behavior, because Sarah then it says, drive out this slave woman and her son. I won't allow her son to inherit along with my son. And it's in response to this that Abraham then takes his wife and Hagar and her son and leaves them in the barren area. In fact, it is said that God told Abraham, listen to your wife, which in a way it's a good commandment, listen to your wife, but in this specific circumstance, one struggles to see the morality of it. Like, how would it be right to leave this woman and her child with only a small supply of water, which eventually will run out?
Sound like a bitter people to me. The heathens. Let's see what God says. The Most High. As you see, they chose to plant a new understanding and go somewhere and worship another God. That's where your Allah comes from. Same thing that the heathens did, the Gentiles, Edomites, in creating the New Testament with a new God, Yahweh Shai, Jesus. So the Most High, what he says in Psalms 83, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they hate that thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek, and the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. As you know, watch that video right there with that brother, as he spoke on the nation of Israel, the children of Israel, God's chosen. He chose not to identify them. It's all about this kingdom, these heathens in their world, and being confederate against the people, the chosen children of Israel. Now, there's a lot of people that's Israel, they get offended with this because they want to be on some kumbaya. Jesus loves everybody, but to no benefit. You're going to find out the Most High is a God of wrath, and he's warring right now against his children who refuse to let go of these heathens' ways and their lies. I haven't done this in a while, but let me give you a reminder of those heathens that you're holding hands with in their judgment, which is coming in Obadiah.
Obadiah. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, Who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway, to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it.
And you don't get no clearer than that for edification. Their day is coming. You know, for all the times they thought they got away with not being held accountable for their evil, they're up next. So if you hold hands with these heathens, embracing their idols, their lies, their lesser gods, it's written. You can do all the worshiping and wishing all you want. The Most High ain't playing. You see what he done to us. We're testaments of Deuteronomy. His power is real. Everything we're witnessing is a power and a testament to his power. All praise to the Most High. Understand it. You can deny it all you want. It is what it is. It's a day of reckoning for the children of Israel and the heathens. Anybody going against the Most High. This is his power. Understand it. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this filling meal that I've been working on. All praise to the Most High. Shalom.